Welcome back, Blood Bowl coaches. I'm Denny. I caught Nurgle's rot, so I was not bringing my snotling with me today. So we are going to go over this week 7 coming up. Look about what happened in week 6. And then we're going to go over the standings, maybe look a little bit into the playoff future. And finally, we'll step into the standout performers and coaches. So let's just go with the standings. That's easy to begin with. We know Luke is going to be in first place. The next few from 2nd to 5th, we're pretty much exactly the same. Sifting Sands, Deep Freeze, Mad Men, and Coconut Cloppers, we're all at 13 points. Right below us are the Tar Hooves and the Cajarinos. Mirkwood Marauders, then Rocky Mountain Marauders. Gitzburg and Sundrop Snotflingers are tied. Same as the Fumblebees and Clayton Cutters, and then the Elephants in last place. Let's go over the last round real quick. I ended up with a 2-1 victory because John could not push through my Strength 5 guard pieces. I was able to push them in a nice position. He committed some fouls and got caught right off the bat, which sucked. He had a lot of journeymen. I targeted his players, and before the end of the game, he had only black orcs on the field, so it's hard to do anything with them when you're down players and you have no agility 3. Oak City had a 2-0 victory. I know that Gabe rolled some 1s on his rushes and re-rolled 1s, and that was the ball carrier, so if you make a mistake, Luke will capitalize. Mad Men beat the Rotters. I don't know much about what happened in this game. Let me see if there's anything that sticks out. Nothing really sticks out to me. I didn't get really any updates on these. Cajarino versus the Marauders had a 2-1 victory. Same, I don't really have much information. I would imagine it's hard to knock down Amazons, especially he didn't really have any block tackle pieces, so it's sometimes difficult. Coconut Cloppers had a 2-1 victory versus the Fumblebees, and I know that the Fumblebees lost their best player, Buzzsaw Berry, I think that's his name, kickback chainsaw, and he killed himself, which sucks. So look for them to repurchase another chainsaw. They're only 40K, and they're the best player on your team. Deep Freeze beat the Sundrop Snotflingers 2-1, and then the Cutters 1-1 tie with Elephants. Let's see. Fixtures for the next one. We're going to kind of, at the end, after I talk about predictions, I'll go through a quick playoff look. But we know Luke's in the playoffs. Like, he's going to be number 1. Even if he loses a match, he's still going to be top seed. I think it's going to be a 1-1 tie. But I'm going to give it 2-1 to Luke just because he hasn't lost a game this season. And if I have a problem picking up the ball like I did versus the Mad Men, a good coach like Luke and Green and some of these other players, they will capitalize on my inability to fumbling the ball. So I will give that to Luke. I think his Flesh Golems will be the MVPs just because of Stand Firm, Thick Skull, and Armor 10. If he can use them, single out my mummies, and just hold them in place for a few turns while the rest of the team moves forward, I struggle because my mummies need to be in the thick of the fight and to use them to my advantage with Strength 5 and Guard. That's what I need. And it could be very hard to do that if you're just tagged with a player that just doesn't go away. So yeah, I'll give that to them. Tar Hooves get 30K in inducements, and I'll get 30K in inducements for mine, and I'm going to take a Weather Mage because I don't want Pouring Rain, and I already picked the ball up on a 4+. I do not want to change that to a 5+, so I'm going to take a Weather Mage to try to help navigate that. Tar Hooves get 30K too. You could take a Bribe or a Mascot, each are good. I think they're going to win this 2-1. He's got a lot of nice skills all over the place. Garrick's really stepped up quite a bit. His next skill is going to be Claws. How much does he need to get there? 11 more, and he's got Claws, and then he's just, oh my god, he's so good. Block, Claw, Tackle, Mighty Blow. Then after that, maybe just go Frenzy. I don't even know. I don't even know if you need any more after that. 4 skills is a lot. But, whew, boy, he's on fire. But I think the Strength 4 is going to be big. Because Mad Men don't have any guard, and they have no way to really deal with Strength 4 unless they team up on him. So if he puts his Strength 4 guys in the right position, they're going to have a hell of a time dealing with him. And they don't have any upgrades because you could maybe get Dauntless. But so I think that's going to be the major factor in this game is just the muscle. That and the fact is, and everybody doesn't consider this when you're playing against a chosen team, anytime they're taking a blitz on the ball carrier, more than likely they're getting a 2-die block because of horns, or if they're chosen or taking a block, you're not going to get a 1-die block on a ball carrier. So, I mean, sometimes you will, but because there might be an assist where you can't get a person out to set them up. But yeah, anytime somebody, like, even on a Nurgle team as well, for the most part, any Chaos team, more than likely you're getting 2-die block. Alright. We're going to go against, these are like opposite teams. Like in their creation, like when Games Workshop made these teams, this is Amazon versus Norse. So how are they different? One has block, one has dodge. One team has all block, one team has all dodge. I think it's going to be a good game. It's like an opposites match. Van has got to level some players up. Should go tackle, wrestle, block. That would give Greg a keg for knockouts. I still think Greg is going to win this game 2-1 because of Calliope, who's the MVP. She's the only guard piece, but she's block, dodge, strength 4. That is such a good combo. It's hard to deal with. And then if you can do that the same on this one, block, dodge, guard, and defensive is so stupid good. And agility 3. Somebody said this the other day. I was in one of the Discords. Probably when they made this team, when they retouched them up, they probably should have made them AG4. I used to think the blitzers, I didn't like the hit and run. I thought it was too much. But now I'm getting what they're saying. Like, I think they need to be AG4, especially strength 4. Just, I don't know. There's something about that. I do think, though, that, again, Greg's going to end up winning this 2-1. Mirkwood Marauders versus Cloppers. They're going to have 310 in inducements, which would give you, and this is what I would say to do, Edril Sidewinder, Keg, Mascot. What does that do? Edril Sidewinder is amazing. I used him in I do a lot of tournaments. I go to a lot of tournaments. When I would run Elf Union, Edril Sidewinder was an auto-include. He has Hypnotic Gaze, which has 2 duties it can do. You can Hypnotic Gaze somebody and they lose their tackle zones. So if you're in a cage, you Hypnotic Gaze a corner of it, and somebody can come in without dodging, blitz your ball carrier. If you do it right, you can get a 1-die block with Strip Ball. He doesn't have sure hands, and that ball's coming loose. Even if he positions himself good, you've got a 2-die uphill, but you've got block. So as long as you don't roll a block or skull, that ball's coming out, which is pretty good. Then what you do is you take one of your linemen, put it in the backfield, so like go around the back side of the team and just leave him back there. You know, maybe like 3 or 4 squares from where the line of scrimmage, where the opponent is. That way, if the ball bounces out, you can either go over and try to pick it up in tackle zones, or have somebody else go in, and then you walk out, dodge out, and then hand it off to that player that's just waiting in the wings, so to speak, and then they run off, and then you are in an amazing position to score. Then you just rinse and repeat. If you do that, I think you could win 3-1. Edril is that good. He's a game changer. And if you haven't used him, I recommend you try him out. I think that is your best bet as an inducement. If you do that, I think you could have a 3-1 victory. If you don't do that, I think the Coconut Cloppers could win. Again, this is going to require risk. You're going to burn rerolls, but that's what the Wood Elves do. Is you make risks and you score a lot of points. You're fast. You get away. and then you just put your opponent on defense. So if you strip the ball out and you get away, you run to the corner of the end zone, but you don't score right away, and you make him like run back to you to try to get the ball loose. Then you just kind of cage up and maybe burn a turn or two and then score. And that's how you play Wood Elves. And I think that if you can do that, you can win. Coconut Cloppers have a good team. They really do. I mean, they've leveled up everybody. Block, dodge, sidestep, block, dodge on the thrower. Guard's not going to come in handy here because you're not going to get into a fight with him. And the other nice thing about Hypnotic Gaze is it removes all your skills. So that dodge, sidestep guy, you Hypnotic Gaze him and then you punch him. He doesn't have block anymore. He doesn't have dodge and he doesn't have sidestep. He's just a scrub lineman, basically. So then when you knock him down, you can knock him down on a block or a dodge dice or power. So he can really come out of it, get knocked out quite easily with Hypnotic Gaze. And then on top of that, Eldril's good. He's like movement 8, dodge. I think he has Nerves of Steel. I think he has catch. And then once per game, he can re-roll his Hypnotic Gaze. So if he rolls a 1, he can re-roll it. Pretty awesome. So you have to protect Eldril. He will get targeted. He doesn't have much. He has a couple block. He only has 3 block pieces that could knock him down. So I think that's a good option. I think that inducement money could actually win you the game. And then on top of that, Coconut Cloppers are getting close to capping out. We're maxed out at 1,700, so that's only like 5 more skills on your player, so just keep that in mind. Next, Pittsburgh Steelers versus Elephants. I think John's going to win this 1-0, maybe 2-1. And the only reason I say that is, look at the skills he has. Look at the skills here. No skills. You can't win games without skills. Now, this roster could be deadly. I think he needs to remove one guy, but you got to level your players up. And he's put MVP on just 3 guys, but he's done nothing with it. I'm not sure if he's maybe trying to get a stat upgrade, but I don't think he needs a stat upgrade on the dwarf. Just guard, and just get guard on all of these guys. 11, like 10 players out of 11 with guard is just stupid to deal with. And it wouldn't take that much to get them there. 6-star player point. That would be the most terrifying team to go against. Then after that, stick some Mighty Blow, some Stand Firm. I think you need at least, he's got 4 rerolls. Rerolls are cheap for dwarves. I think he needs a blitzer. I think he doesn't have, I just think his roster's odd. And the fact that he's not leveled up once the entire season, you can't win. You can't even compete with that kind of roster. So, but if he can get guard, I wouldn't even want to deal with it. Like, you're not going to remove dwarves. They're just going to stay around. And then John's got strength 6, or strength 4, so he can tie multiple dwarves up. And the fact that he doesn't have guard to like assist him just makes it even worse. It compounds even more. And then John's got guard, so he's making it even harder for the dwarves. Like, you gotta level your players up. Next is Sundrop Snotflingers versus Clayton Cutters. 260 in inducements. First off, the Doom Diver should level up. Give him dodge. Pogoer, I like the idea of waiting and then give him a stat upgrade. Maybe you can get that agility too. But what you really want is that movement 7, which is an auto. So just keep holding off on him. The Bomber, just random passing skills. Because there's some good passing stuff. Leaders, but it's still something. Leader, you could take leader for 10k. That's not bad. Running pass is really good, which basically you throw a bomb and then you can move afterwards. But it's only, I think, short passes or quick passes. Accurate's really good. Pass is really good. So you can accurate's a +1. Pass is re-rolling pass fails. safe pair of hands is really good. That way, if you roll that one where it normally would blow you up and your turn ends, nothing happens. You just hold on to the pass and then that's it. And there's some other ones in there, but they're not as good. But those are the top ones that I can think of. And then for these guys, don't even level them up with regular stuff. Like, do some random general skills. There's so many good general skills, so just get them to 6-star player points and then go on the general tree, random. You could get block, which would be great. Wrestle would be great. Strip ball is awesome. Dirty player's amazing. Dauntless is not bad. I say strip ball? Strip ball would be good. So that's what I do. I just ran them on the general skill, and if I get a garbage thing, I'm like, like tackle or I don't know, shadowing, I'll fire them and start again. So yeah, that's what I do. Then the minute you get one that's got dirty player, then you just level them up normally and get sneaky get. And now you've got a dirty player sneaky get for only 40k. So now it's an 80k goblin with dirty player sneaky get, which is amazing. And then your Bama's only 75k, and you've got 3 skills on him. I mean, that's pretty good. I do think, though, that Cutters are going to win this 1-0. They do have a ton of inducements. So you could take the Sundrop. They got 260s. You could take Ripper. Hackflem, maybe. He's still... Skitter Stab's not bad. He's an option. He's like a cheaper version. He's like 150k. That's not bad for a gutter runner. Bomber Dribblesmart, good. He's good. But if you level up that Goblin Bomber, he could already be a better bomber. But really, scrap a sore head and some bribes is what I would do. Just foul the shit out of him. What the hell is going on? My phone's going crazy. Let's see. Next, Rocky Mountain Marauders, Bumblebees. This is a big game for the Rocky Mountain Marauders. They really need to win this. Bumblebees are going to have 116 inducements. We know they're going to take Bama. Trevor Snot. I wouldn't. And some bribes. I think I'd just take bribes and be done with it. I think the Rocky Mountain Marauders are going to win this 2-0. But I think this is a must-win game for them. At least a tie, but really they need a win. Like, they really need a win because they're on the bottom end of the tournament, the playoff picture. And they could lose, and then if their opponents that are kind of right below them win, they're all of a sudden they're on the outside looking in. But I think they got some great skills that can really, and all of the teams this season have really done a good job of distributing the star player points around to try to make a team effective team. And not one person has really stood out as like hawk, star player point hawk. And I mean, there's some these are all solid skills. Guard and block are just good. I mean, he's got sure hands, so no strip ball, and he can re-roll without burning a re-roll. Or re-roll the ball. Pickup tackle is going to be big in this game because he's going against goblins. And they need to buy their chainsaw. They should probably fire this guy. Oh, he's got 6-star player. 7 value, armor value. That sucks. Yeah, I still think this is going to be a 2-0 victory. 160k gives you 3 bribes. This is what I'd do. I don't think there's much else to do. Probably she'll end up taking Bomber and 2 bribes. But I think Bomber's not going to work. Disturbing Presence is going to be the MVP because it's going to have an area effect. So that normally that 2+ that you're passing the bomb on, is if you've got a couple rotters or bloaters nearby you or a rot spawn, that 2 goes to now like a 5. So you're not going to throw bombs good. So I think that's going to be the big thing. That's going to make a big difference. And then if you want to try to throw teammate, you've got like 3 or 4 bloaters nearby. Now you need a 6 to just make an inaccurate pass. If not, it's a wildly inaccurate. And then if you wildly inaccurate, if it rolls the wrong way, even if it, oh yeah. And then you land on like a 5 or a 6 because it gives you negatives to landing. So yeah, it's going to be rough. This is a bad matchup for Goblins. Nurgle's and that Nurgle team has really leveled up quick. All right, now let's go over the honors about who's the standout players so far in this league. It hasn't shifted much. In fact, I don't think it's shifted much at all. Darcy and the big guys are all kind of stayed the exact same. Pogoer, of course. Garrick has continued to have a standout season. Trash Hide and Scungrier are both leading scorers. Garrick has killed the most players. Let's see. Yeah. Now, the Coconut Cloppers, again, I talked about earlier, they're about 100K from being at the max team value, so they got to be careful what they level up. Let's see. Luke has got the most star player points. That's no surprise because he's winning. So if you're winning, you're getting star player points. Mirkwood Marauders are in first place with offense with 13 touchdowns. Congrats. Hopefully they can keep it going because Oak City is right behind them knocking on the door. Same as with the Tar Hooves. They're in first place. So they just got to have hold on to that defense. Rocky Mountain Marauders have jumped above me with 15 casualties. I'm going to try to remedy that, but I think they're going to really bump up this week because they're playing Goblins, where I'm not. And I'm killed the most people. Luke's got the best run, no surprise. John is fouling. I think fouling's underappreciated, so nice job. And in certain teams, it's like the backbone to the team. And then Van has got the most completion. So yeah, we will now look over the standings real quick, just to give you an idea of the playoff picture. Luke, it's going to be at first place no matter what happens. But again, these two spots are still in the shot. 10th and 11th could take out 9th. I would say from 8th up are pretty set, but if something crazy happens, Mirkwood Marauders could be out and Rocky Mountain Marauders, and these two could be in. But I think from 9th up is going to be in, because we're doing 8 players teams. I'm going to step out, so it's Luke and the rest of these. Now these will rotate as the matches come in and wins and losses, but I do think that the majority of these from 10th down are going to be out of the playoffs. I know for sure the 12th through 13th are out. They're not in the playoff picture at all. But there's a shimmer of hope in these two, in the Gettysburg Steelers and the Sundrop Snufflings. But they have got to win the next 2 games. Like, they have to. Rocky Mountain Marauders really need to get a win, and if they can win this week, I think they're done. They're in. All right. See you in about 2 weeks.